Hello and happy birthday, Sagittarius. This is your solar return sun sign forecast for the year ahead. And so in this short video, we're going to go over some of the most important influences for your personal solar year ahead, beginning with your solar return. And the solar return, for those who don't know, is a very special moment in time that happens once a year near your birthday, when the sun returns to the exact position in the zodiac where it was at the exact time of your birth. And so what this is it's like a cosmic reset. It's like your own personal new year where you get to start fresh, where you get to set intentions for the year ahead. And so my hope for this video, which is an abridged video of the sort of long form solar return forecast videos that I do, which you can find more information about down below. In this video, hopefully you can get enough information to understand some of the most important energies that will be coming up for you in your solar year ahead, so that way you can make the right intentions, make the right plans, set the right goals for yourself for the year ahead, so you can be more successful in working with the energy as it's available to you. And so in this video, we're going to be covering some of the most important transits to your sun. And so this is the sun sign forecast specifically. A lot of people always ask me in these forecasts if they should listen for their moon and their rising sign and all of these things. And in this forecast, this is specific for Sagittarius sun signs. And if you do want to go deeper and beyond the information in this video, as I mentioned before, I have an extended version of this forecast, very extended, over 2 hours long, where we get into the general energy based on your birthday and the sun's placement in your solar return, all the way down to some more detailed interpretations of very specific influences that'll be occurring for you in the year ahead. And this comes complete with PDF files with additional information and timestamps and things like that, so you can really hone in on the most important information to help you be successful in the year ahead. And so that's down in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. And for everyone else, this is going to be, again, a very pivotal year for a lot of Sagittarius sun signs. And that's because beginning in the spring of 2020, we're going to have the nodes shifting into Sagittarius and into Gemini. And so the South node in particular will be coming into a conjunction with your sun for most Sagittarius sun signs over the course of the next solar year. And even if it isn't, it's still aspecting you by sign-based aspect, and it is going to be hitting your sun exact in the following year. And so this is information that can extend beyond just this year. This is an 18-month influence that starts a few months from now. And so this is really, something that's relevant for the next 2 years for Sagittarius. And so what's going to be happening here is that the South node, which is a karmic fated point, it's one of the lunar nodes, it's one of the eclipse points, it's going to be coming into a conjunction with your sun. And when the South node comes into a conjunction with your sun, it's a time of having to, first off, let go of things. The South node is what we're moving away from. It's what we've already wrapped up and completed and is no longer of service to us. And so this is where we're going to be looking at, or where you're going to be looking at, where you're really feeling very dissatisfied with yourself, with your life, where you're feeling like you're not connected to your path or to your purpose in life, and where maybe you've exhausted all of the avenues with a certain set path or a certain purpose, and maybe that's not your purpose anymore. Maybe you need to aspire to change your life, to let go of the old in order to make room for something different. And so this is going to be a time of surrender and letting go of that which no longer serves you. And it's going to come about in really big, karmic, synchronistic, sort of eerie, almost ominous ways at certain points in time when this energy is strongest for you in the coming year. And so you'll find yourself meeting up with, people where these people feel familiar. They feel like they are people that you know from past life experiences. Like you never met them, but you feel like you already know these people, especially people in positions of power or leadership, or people that you look to as, maybe some sort of authority figure or somebody that you look to for guidance that might appear in your life, where it feels synchronous. It feels sort of strange, and it feels like this is a familiar scenario for me. And that can go beyond just relationships and interactions with people. You'll probably find yourself in circumstances and situations where the situation itself or the environment you're in is highly familiar. It feels like history is repeating itself, or it feels like this really intense deja vu, but you can't figure out or place where this is coming from. When this comes up for you this year, pay attention, because these are important things that are coming up for a reason, and they feel this way for a reason. It's showing you where there's a pattern that's maybe come full circle, or there is some old energy that you're holding on to that maybe you do need to let go of in order to make space to create something new. It's showing you maybe where there's an important talent or gift that's being carried over from a previous lifetime that is in alignment with your path or your purpose in this lifetime that you need to bring forth and really bring back into the forefront of your consciousness and utilize in some way, especially if you're utilizing that talent or gift for the greater good in a very compassionate way, or you're giving it up to some sort of spiritual practice, or you're doing it for something greater than just your own ego and your own sense of importance or recognition. That's really what this is about. It's about tapping into the gifts from the past that you can really carry forward into the present in ways that transcend just physical material gains, or transcend just material or physical recognition. And so that's going to be a high point of this year. And for some of you, you're going to have eclipses conjunct your sun. You're going to have two penumbral lunar eclipses, one in conjunction and one in opposition to your sun. And at the start of next year, there's going to be a total or an annular solar eclipse that's going to conjunct your sun for a lot of Sagittarius sun sign people. And so this indicates that you're going to have several major turning points, major points of growth, transformation, and also loss and surrender, because that's part of the growth and transformation process. And that's really what the focal point is. You're kind of in a wrapping up phase, or a point of release right now, where you do have to take stock of what you've accomplish and what you need to let go of, what's in alignment with your purpose and what's not. And so these are going to be very fated turning points for a lot of Sagittarians. Once the nodes shift and once you start having these eclipses in your sign, where you're going to be pulled in a whole new direction in life, and your whole life can be turned upside down in very fated and strange ways as a result of these eclipse cycles and these eclipses, with your sun. Beyond that, you're going to have some Neptunian energy coming in, and so this is going to be a very strange energy. When you have Neptune in square with your sun, which is what a lot of Sagittarians are having, which some of you have had this very strongly already, some of you are coming to that culmination point, and some of you are feeling it coming up, or it's sort of building as an energy, and it'll come to the strongest point later on down the line in a couple of years. But in general, this is an influence that will impact all Sagittarius sun signs. And this is an influence that causes you to become hypersensitive. You become much more sensitive to energies and emotions and situations and environments and even physical things that you come into contact with. And this can be a little overwhelming for a lot of Sagittarius sun signs, where you might find yourself feeling overly empathetic and overly compassionate toward other people, to the point where the boundaries between your emotional experience and other people's emotional experience are very blurred. And so you pick up and take on a lot of other people's stuff, and it can be confusing. Where's this coming from? You can become more physically sensitive to toxins or certain environmental exposures in your life, and you can find that this is causing you to feel bad. And if that's the case, these are things that were already impacting your body that you're just now becoming hypersensitive to, so that way you can figure out what is good for you and what is not on a physical level, because Neptune rules poisons as well. The same thing can be said for toxic environments. You're picking up on negative energy in your space, in your surroundings. And so that's showing you what's good and what's not, because you're becoming hypersensitive to the things that were already impacting you, but now it's like you can't ignore it. And you might have this ominous sort of free-floating sense of anxiety that comes in and out throughout the year. And that's another thing that happens with this Neptune square to the sun, where it's kind of like, what's going on here? Like, is something about to happen? But then usually nothing actually does. And that's because you're picking up on so many different energies and so many different influences. Planetary influences become stronger, even though even when they're more subtle. The influences of the energies in your environment, global events, and the energies of those events can be something that you can pick up on a lot more easily. And I talked about this in my my Neptune video that I did a month or so ago, so you can go back and watch that, because you guys who have this Neptune square, all of you Sagittarians, really need to understand Neptune, because otherwise it's going to be a very confusing time for you guys. Luckily though, some of you will have Saturn beginning to sextile your sun this year, and this will be the strongest influence for the beginning Sagittarians. And so if you have your sun within the first few degrees, if you were born early on in the sign of Sagittarius, you'll be feeling this grounded, strong energy where you can take the floaty, imaginative, transcendent energy of Neptune, which can be very dreamy and very imaginative and very idealistic, and you can turn your visions into something really practical and real. But you're going to have to work at it, because Saturn requires work, sextiles require activation, and so it's not just going to happen on its own. But if you choose to do so, you can dream big and you can turn those dreams into practical, real situations in your life. And so that's going to be one of the more positive spins on that Neptune square for you guys. For everyone else, especially again the beginning Sagittarians, you're going to have Chiron trining your sun this year, which is another very positive influence. And so when Chiron trines your sun, this is a time of profound emotional, psychological, and even physical healing for Sagittarius sun signs, where you're going to be healing through a lot of your old wounds, old traumas, old baggage, old insecurities, old guilt and shame around who you are, what your path is, and what your purpose is in life. Anything that has hurt you in the past, any traumas, any wounds, any baggage that you have that causes you to feel some sort of shame around who you are and causes you to maybe inhibit the authentic expression of what you came here to do, you're going to be able to very easily identify it and work through it. It almost comes naturally, and the right healers and the right processes come to you almost like seamlessly on their own throughout this transit and with this influence this year. And so this is a profound time of healing. And if you're somebody who works in a healing capacity or wants to work in a healing capacity, this is where you can become a healer in your own right a lot more easily. And this again just comes very naturally. And even if that's not part of your profession or your professional goals, this is a role that you can very easily take on with other people in your life, and people will start to look to you as like an authority or respect you as this person who has the ability to heal on a certain level. And that could be, help people with financial or physical healing, helping people like just your friends with their, emotional stuff. And you have this really great insight, but it's not like you're feeling like, oh, I'm this great healer and I'm so cool. And, it's not like an egotistical thing. If anything, this year is a year where you shed all of that egotistical stuff if you have any. Sagittarians, they're not necessarily known for being humble, but they're known for having integrity and being very truthful and they're very much who they are. So as a Sagittarius, you are who you are and you don't know how to be otherwise. But in the sense of the Chiron energy to the sun, it humbles you, but it also uplifts you at the same time. And so you're more innately aware, you're more easily able to help guide other people and to become that healer, to heal through your own stuff. But you kind of have a more humble, laid back approach to that process, and people tend to respect that and gravitate toward you as a result of that energy. The final thing that's going to be a big influence for Sagittarius sun signs is Uranus. Uranus will be in conjunction with your sun this year. Uranus in an in conjunction is an interesting energy because it's more of a psychological influence where it causes you to have to take a look at where you're either holding back and bottling up your innate sort of impulses to change things or to do things that are more rebellious or different or eccentric in some way. and learn how to express those eccentricities, learn how to be more rebellious, learn how to be a little bit different without caring so much about what other people think about what it is that you're doing. Not that Sagittarians have a specific issue with this, but there can be areas where you're holding back, where you feel like you should be one way, or this is a way that's been deemed acceptable. But during this time, during this year, you might feel an intense frustration with the roles that you've taken on and with who you've become, and you might want to break free from those roles. And this could cause you to sort of rebel in a very disruptive manner, where it comes out all at once when you reach your breaking point. And so this can cause conflict in relationships, this can cause conflict with your work, this can cause conflict in a lot of areas if you're not careful about letting it out in sort of a slow, measured way and making compromises here and there, where maybe you need to stick with the path for a little bit longer in one area, but you can rebel against this thing that you're really frustrated with in the other area, instead of just up and leaving and changing everything all at once and causing everyone to be like, what the heck are you doing, Sagittarius? But if you really need to rebel, if you really feel this impulse and this frustration has been building for quite some time with your current circumstances, this is a year to let it all out. And so this is a year where you liberate yourself in a way that can sometimes be like abrupt, like a volcano just exploding, and it's like, whoa, what just happened here? And so this is a really powerful year of change. This is going to be a year of tapping into more of your spiritual side and tapping into your power as a healer, and caring, not caring about what other people think about what it is that you're doing, and just becoming more liberated in terms of identifying yourself with your authentic path, your authentic purpose, and breaking away from anything that holds you back from doing that. So an empowering year as well. So happy birthday, Sagittarius. And if you have questions or comments, please post below. And if you want to go deeper into your solar return forecast for the year ahead, again, there's a 2-hour, 15-minute, something like that video with supplemental materials. You can find the link down in the description below to purchase this forecast. And I've been getting really great feedback about the Sagittarius forecast in particular. As I've been going through and doing these one each month, I started out with Aries, right? And as I've gone through all of the signs, I feel like I've just refined the process and refined these forecasts every single time. And they're just getting stronger and better with each time that I do it. So Sagittarius is lucky that you had to wait. So anyway, thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed this video, share with another Sagittarius, like the video, and follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @astrologywithheather. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.